Get ready, Power Gamers. This is episode 3 of the Legends of Lyria. I'm DJ the DM.
I'm Emily, I play Wyndham.
I'm Lily, I play Lothario.
I'm Taz, and I play Double Titania.
I'm Matt. I'm going to be playing Edward Bojangles Flint.
I love it, and we are here to bring you the next edition in our campaign. All right, where we last left off, a quick recap of the session prior. We take place in Lyria, this uniquely dangerous water world full of storms, seas, and very small islands. The party itself, a mixed match of different individuals, wildly varying backgrounds, some poor, some nobles, some fugitives, and some druids, all gathered together under the Rat King's banner. You work for me now, all of you. You will go down to the docks. There is a ship that has arrived. This ship is a mystery to me. You will go down to that ship. You will investigate it. And you will report back to me. And so you make your way to the docks. There does seem to be one of them where nobody is leaving the boat. There's 4 people that you can see. When you look at them, they look as though something is really wrong with them. Their skin, it's yellow and sallow.
Looks like they're dying. They're clearly, the lights are on, but nobody's home.
I can see if nobody's home. I try to initiate a telepathic link with this guy.
The second that channel is full and you begin feeling through it, what you feel is the combination of nails on a chalkboard, screwdrivers against teeth. It is every single thing that makes your skin crawl, and you drop to the ground. You begin screaming.
I'm like, those things are not human.
The second you step onto the boat, they start slamming their fists into you, scratching at her, tearing the flesh from her body. You realize that they don't seem to have any sort of pain reflex. Now, you are certain of one thing. These are not zombies.
I go and I take my great axe and I smash it up against this dude's head.
He is split in twain and falls twice to the ground, dead. That thing goes down. It doesn't come back up. Another 2 through the head?
Another 2 through the head.
Gone. This combat is over. You look down into the crate, old area. And what you see is there's several people down there. They appear to be very ill. Now, you elected not to go into the bottom 2 or however many layers of that ship. After going below the first deck, the horrors that you started seeing made you decide to leave. A sudden humming made you really want to get out. And while you did find Stabby Steve, he ran deeper under decks. You weren't keen to follow. So with that, you guys abandoned the ship, made your way back here. Double Titania is coated in blood still from the vivisection that she so expertly did on one of the poor unfortunates that you murdered on that ship. Lothario, you are fully healed after the incredible mauling that you took from those strangely violent beings, and you all make your way back here. You do notice that someone who you maybe perhaps expected to see here is not here. You remember that when you guys came here seeking the Rat King's help, Wyndham came with her friend, a fellow druid who had been struck with whatever strange illness this was. She gave her to the Rat King in order to be healed in exchange for service. She's not here. They are missing about a third of the people that were down here before.
Well, there seems to be an old blood trail leading where we left last time, and I'm kind of concerned about that.
The Rat King is awaiting your return.
Guess it's time to start telling.
What do you guys say?
Well, we found a ship that is not like any of the other ships. It's filled with like bad, nasty things. Yeah, they're definitely not human. They have no mind.
And the rest of you? She says there was a bunch of mindless people who weren't human on this ship. What do you say?
We also found Steve. He's on the ship. He couldn't leave.
He said he got captured, woke up on the ship, and he got super sick like all these other people on the ship too.
Wait, you're saying this has something to do with the disease that's been going around?
Yeah.
Is there any sort of proof that you have?
Well, Double T, you did hack that guy open.
I pull out the weird worm thing. Like, I
So,
found this in his neck.
the Rat King, you can tell, is closely inspecting that strange worm on the ground. You see him raise a hand and snap a finger. At the snap of that finger, you see a rather large rat. It comes over with an unnatural speed. You guys see this rat begin sniffing at it, and finally, it bites into the worm. After a moment, though, the rat drops it. It starts shaking, and it stays in place. And again, you see the Rat King's hand does not move. You realize he must be maintaining some sort of effect or some sort of control or something. You're not sure. After a moment, the rat starts shaking much more violently. Then eventually, its legs give out and it falls to the ground. As you watch this, the Rat King looks to you and says, "While I eagerly await the results of my little experiment here, I fear we must move forward.
I guess they don't call you the Rat King for nothing.
I must admit there's been some unfortunate news on my end. I had sent some members of my rat pack into the inner city, while I sent you to that ship that I know nothing about in order to investigate it. I sent them into the inner keep in order to find the docks manifest, where I could find out where it was supposed to be headed, the captain or the noble who patrons it, when it's planning to leave, what it's carrying, things that you wouldn't find at the dock but would be highly valuable and well guarded. My scouts have not returned, not even one. This is very unusual. I have an arrangement with many of the guards in the inner ring. They are on my payroll. I bribe them to let anyone with our mark go free, should they be apprehended. So the fact that they've not returned is very troubling to me. It seems anyone I send in there disappears. And yet, I have also learned that earlier today, there was a parade to welcome a new noble. Very likely the one who came on that ship. A noble of the house Scolopolomine. Not a name I recognize. I believe our next move is for you to go to Highgarden. Try to meet this noble of the house Scolopolomine. Find out what you can. If they are in charge of the ship, they must know more about it. I hear there is also rumors in the inner city that they have some sort of preventative ward against the plague or disease, whatever they think is spreading so quickly through the outer ring. If you can find some of it, or you can convince whoever's producing it to produce it for us as well, you could literally save the city. Save all of us and your friends. And lastly, a couple of things I learned. As you did not keep your entirety of the bargain by finding out everything that happened on that ship, I too, unfortunately, have only kept some of my word. Now, I will keep my promises, but it seems that Wyndham, your friend, along with those from the outskirts who have obliged my help, they seem entirely resistant to our healing magic. I have tried some of our most expensive scrolls and poultices to no avail. I have had to remove her, along with some others, in order to establish their protection and our own, until we can find suitable healing to save them. Likewise, Bojangles, I have heard whispers that your friend, Benny Bones, has been apprehended by the guards in Highgarden. I believe he awaits in one of their dungeons. Very unfortunate, but there he is. Of course, I still will help you get him out for your continued service. Lastly, Double T, I'm not sure exactly what you did to so anger the residents who frequent the Church of Eternal Water, but did you know there are posters for you? He pulls up a flyer and it says, "Have you seen this woman?" It seems to be a rough sketch of you. It's certainly not issued by either the cogs or the church. So it's something that was probably made by the group of mothers of those children who have gone missing that you were responsible for. You know, the ones you lied about and then abandoned.
Dang, those
All
moms
those.
are fast.
Well, you know, you were responsible for their children and then you disappeared after lying to them. Yeah. So they want answers. And it seems that Papa Stormbreaker, while he will not lie, he has not given you up.
I
So
don't
they
know
have
who I
resorted.
am.
Well, that was on purpose. He has not given you up. And so they have resorted to posting these flyers all over the outskirts, trying to find you.
Fine.
You know, very likely they would be camping out at the church in the outskirts. It's very much an unsafe place for you, especially covered in blood like you are. Not a good look.
These helicopter moms just need to learn when to quit, when to take a step back, let their kids possibly sell their souls to an evil person.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, there have been some pretty intense updates. What do you do?
If we go to Papa Stormbreaker, someone else is going to have to go in my place. I do not want to get caught by those mamas and have to explain to them. You know, I wish I had a mom,
Same.
but I know that my dad.
What happened to your
like
mom?
a god. Oh, I was given up to the church, actually to the Rat King.
Oh.
Sold me to him. But I know that they're not my real parents because real parents don't do that. So like my dad or one of my parents must be like a god or something because I'm like destined for greatness.
As you guys are thinking this, he kind of narrows his eyes looking at you. Oh. Are you doing it now? Your telepathy. Fascinating.
Not really.
Well, don't mind me. I'll sit here in silence until you're done.
Good. I do my best thinking in silence.
It's not exactly like you've been forthcoming with us.
Do you say that, or?
No.
I think it really aggressively.
I'm not about to go insult this guy in his own home. I'm good. Okay, we need to start taking some action here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the main thing is up in High Garden.
Yeah, it looks like we gotta go to this church first to go clear Double T's name.
Oh no, we're not clearing my name.
Oh,
Oh.
No, those moms be crazy. They're not going to listen to anything unless their kids are like right there in their arms.
okay. So we gotta save some kids before the PTA throws a fit.
If they're anything like Stabby Steve, they're gone. Like he did not want to come with us. You saw that.
And now that you think about it, you do remember that Stabby Steve, when you asked him if he, fell asleep on the boat or woke up here, he said he didn't. He was actually captured by guards who found him sleeping and then taken to the boat. So it does appear that guards are picking up people who have some association with the Rat King.
All right, guys, don't fall asleep in the streets.
Hide your new tattoos.
Yes.
I told you it's a bad idea to get yourself marked.
Okay, I can cover mine with my gauntlet, so we're good.
I guess I didn't exactly tell you, but
Yeah, you did.
now you know in the future it's a bad idea.
If I knew that would have been possible, I would have picked the fit too and not have.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, sure. I told you as I let you all get branded and then struggled fiercely not to have the same fate.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't know you.
I love it. Okay, so he looks at you expecting an answer.
All right, Rat King, what can we do to find out more about this noble?
Go to High Garden. Find the noble. I'm not sure where he is. As I said, my scouts have not returned, unfortunately. I am at the moment frustratingly blind to what occurs in the inner city. Go there. Seek out the noble. Find a way to either make contact with him and convince him to help us, or find whatever the inner circle is claiming can protect them from this pestilence and blight, and bring it back here.
Well, I suppose it's time to invite you to my home.
Wait, you have a home?
Yes, in Highgarden. I
Oh.
am a noble, after all.
What?
Really?
Did you think that my papers were fake?
Yeah.
I honestly assumed they were just really good forges.
Yeah. Why would
It's
a
okay,
noble
I
come to
believed
the
you.
Rat King? You can afford anything.
Do you see my clothes?
Yeah. We just thought that you were like really good at like that you stole them and you were really trying to deceive people.
No, I am in Elysium. Thank you very much. Pleasure to meet you all. Unfortunately, I have no money to my personal name, and I know my grandparents would not be happy if I spent their money on a human. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Don't want those humans to live.
The Rat King chuckles as he looks to you and says, "Very well. This is why I have selected each of you. Lothyriel, you are a noble. You're the only one who won't look extraordinarily out of place in the inner ring. Double T, as a member of the Church of Eternal Water, your squabbles in the outer outskirts of the city are of no matter to anyone in the inner ring, including the church. You will be able to slip in and gain access to anything that the church would prevent others from seeing. Likewise, Bojangles, you are the only one without a brand. So, if the guards are apprehending my people, you will be let go, and you will be able to come back and tell me. Lastly, Windham, your people and their ability to sense things about nature and magic and the like, along with the distraction I heard you caused at the docks, will make you a valuable asset when trying to recover whatever healing balm is in the inner city. Go now, all of you. Time is of the essence, and your friends' lives still hang in the balance, as do many of those whom I'm sure you don't care about."
All right. Well, I guess you better take us to your house in Highgarden. But
Wonderful.
yeah.
Should we take the sewers again?
Why would we take the sewers?
So you don't have to pay.
Yeah, you realize that Lothyriel, while you, because of your noble pass, would be allowed entry, they would have to pay. Normally. I mean, you might be able to convince the guards otherwise, but to get into, that's just to get into the very first ring. To get into the middle ring, there is a much more expensive pass, and then to get into the inner ring, it's a bit different in there, but it certainly wouldn't be something that would come easy.
Oh, my apologies. I suppose we should take the sewers.
Yes, because you don't understand money.
One thing that's true, as a noble, everything in the inner city is not paid for in cash, right? Nobles don't walk around with purses full of gold and silver. That's for peasants. You have names, you have credit, and your name is your currency, which is why it was so frustrating for you to try and buy something at that shop in your character intro. So yeah, you would have to probably sneak them in, unfortunately.
Oh, all right.
He snaps his fingers, and one of his rat pack makes you a very crude map. At the same time they're doing that, the individual who branded you begins waving his hand, and he starts casting prestidigitation on all of you. It removes the blood, the strange purple goo, and probably the tears that stained your clothes from the night before. You guys are pretty well exhausted, and as this process is happening, the Rat King looks at you and says, "Perhaps you could all do with the rest. Choice is yours."
I know I could use a break, especially if we're going to break into the inner city.
Yeah.
We could always rest in my home.
No, I would rather rest here because who knows like what's going on up there.
Yeah, it's been a long day. I say we take a rest here.
At least down here, like I'm sad to say this, but we can like trust the Rat King since like we are on a mission for him.
He smiles at you and says, "Yes, very well. Tay, you have your pick of the sewers."
I go to my old spot.
About half-mile walk away. It's closer to the inner city anyway. You take your party there with you. It's a nice little alcove in the sewers that barely anything bunches up and starts growing in, so it's pretty good.
I slept in worse.
You all awake in the sewers. A new day is dawned, although you wouldn't know it from where you find yourselves now. The smell is the same. The poor lighting is the same, but here you are. It's a new day, and you've got a mission to go to Highgarden. You take off. You make your way through the sewers as you meander left and right. You find and follow the familiar path that was sketched out on that little map. And you make your way to a manhole. You proceed to open it. Are you guys doing that stealthily or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll stealth checks, everybody, real quick.
I got a 4.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Oh, awesome. We're not stealthy at all, guys.
I need to stop making stealth checks.
That is perfect.
Good one.
Okay, so you guys make your way out of the sewers in the manhole. You make your way onto a busy Highgarden street. You happen to be somewhat in an alleyway. Fortuitous for you, very lucky. As you look around, though, you notice that, it's definitely beautiful here. But there don't seem to be a lot of people in the streets. With the size of these manors, you guess a lot of people probably stay in their own homes unless there's something going on. There definitely is the remnants of a party from yesterday, some sort of procession. And there does appear to be what looks like a flyer for high tea. Now, in the inner circle, you know that, again, only the most select of people are allowed in here. So this flyer is kind of like an announcement, kind of like an open invite to all of the nobles in the city, inviting them to high tea. It appears that this is being organized by the house Scolopolomine as a welcome to the island. It turns out that this noble is apparently a blight warden, one of the realm's most fabled healers. Apparently, at this high tea, he's going to be giving out for free to the noble houses a blight ward that should protect from any pestilence or disease, whether it's mundane or magical. As it turns out, that's today at around 3 o'clock. So that's fortunate.
Well, that worked out pretty well. Isn't this what we're supposed to come here and get?
Yeah.
Well,
right, let's hurry
it's
on.
something.
Get to it.
As you guys are kind of exiting and looking around, Windham, what are you doing?
Well, I was trying to be stealthy.
Okay. Yeah, you get out of the manhole and you kind of hang over by the side of the street. You notice as you look around at how fine everything is that going forward, anyone that sees you is going to immediately recognize you as out of place. You're a forest folk. This is the exact opposite of everything you're dressed for, bred for, prepared for. You're so out of place. What do you guys do?
We have to go to my home and prepare for this tea. They're not going to let us in looking like we look now. I look like I've slept in a sewer.
Because you did.
Well, we did.
Well, that is fair. You guys did. So you decide to make your way to House Elysium, or what is left of it. As you know, Lily, your family left about 2 or 3 months ago. So what's left of it? I mean, it's a very nice manor, kind of, but yeah, there's no servants, there's no anything there. Although that does kind of make it the perfect place to hide out, really. As you're walking, you make your way there, but the whole time, you feel as though you're being watched. It's no one on the street that you can see, but you can feel eyes on your back. However, you make it there, and no one interrupts you physically. You guys change and prepare yourselves for the tea. You dress up in some fairly fancy noble clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And while you can't shake the feeling that you were watched while you made your entrance into Highgarden, you feel pretty confident that right now you at least wouldn't stick out as you are. So, you wait, and it takes pretty much all day to prepare to get looking like a noble. Yeah, it's time. Time for tea, I guess.
Thyriel, we look good.
You
Wonderful.
clean up nice.
Oh my gosh.
Wonderful.
I love it. Yeah, you guys really look good in some noble clothes.
Do we really have to wear these?
Yes, of course, unless you want to get stopped.
Yeah, it's just part of noble society. You'd be stuck outward like a sore thumb instantly. So with that, you guys are all prepared and ready to go. You make your way toward the tea. How are you guys going to do this? Are you just going to stroll right in?
I think that's Lothariel's gig. She knows how to play this. We don't.
Yeah, what's
We
what's
don't
the
do court
standard thing here?
politics. Oh, we just accompany you.
Yes.
Awesome. Sounds
Also,
good.
no talking. You
Got
guys
it.
do not talk. You do not
Okay.
speak.
You
You
guys
ignore anything that
make your way
happens.
towards tea.
Well, that's perfect. I mean, we can just communicate telepathically.
Yes, exactly.
So that's fine.
Yeah, we'll just route all of our communication through Double T. We'll keep our voices to ourselves and let you take the lead.
So we're going to let Lothariel take the lead.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Perfect.
Okay, so you guys decide to make your way towards high tea. Lily, you know for sure that as a noble, it's not like there's any invitation or anything. Everybody knows the nobles, the noble families here. So yeah, you just pretty much got to walk in, walk to the guards, and walk past them. They're going to keep out any riffraff, but you guys are of a noble house, so it doesn't matter. You guys make your way to tea. It's a delightful afternoon in Highgarden. You can see that it appears that no expense has been spared. It's a beautiful high tea garden. In fact, the very high garden that Highgarden is named after. It appears that there are noble families in their finest regalias sitting at each of the many resplendent tables. You notice that there is an incredible guard presence here. As, if you thought the docks were heavily fortified, a gathering of all the nobles it has basically its own militia. You make your way up to the line of guards, and you are stopped. Now, this is procedure. They have to check and make sure that you are a noble, I guess. So you notice that there are about 6 or so guards that are interacting with you. They seem heavily armed, although none of their arms are drawn. They approach all of you, since each of you have noble regalia. Yes, lords and ladies, which house are you?
House Elysium.
Right. Just a moment, if you would. He takes out a very long, scrolling thing of parchment. You see his eyes peruse over it for a moment. You each have a second to make a skill check while he's looking at the list. What do you do?
Use insight, see if I can see what's on the other side of the paper.
Excellent. Go
Would
ahead
that
and
be
roll that
perception?
insight check.
Oh.
Or investigation, either one. Nice. Okay, you can tell that this is basically a guest list, a list of all the noble houses for the guards who, don't keep up with all the nobility. It's basically like the guest list to get in.
Okay.
All right, now let's go to Matt. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna sit pretty, like Lothario told us to.
Nice. All right, Double T, anything?
I want to make a perception check just for like everyone around here, just
You
to like
got it.
kind of see what's going on. Like, I don't really know a lot of the houses too much, but just to see like if people look worried or if they're happy.
Yeah, good call. Go ahead and roll that perception check.
We got a 13.
Ooh, a 13. Okay, so even with a 13, it's a beautiful day. There's a lot of wonderful nobles. There's a ton of guards. One of the things you notice, a few of them, not the ones in your group, luckily yet, but a few of them seem to be kind of looking over your way. Weird, but that's a thing. Maybe there's something about you that's sticking out. You're not sure.
Not
But
enough
other than that,
perfume.
what's that?
Not enough perfume, probably.
That must be what it is. Another thing you notice is that at each table of tea, there appears to be this jug of red liquid. Yeah, that's not tea, but it's like this reddish brown liquid. Interesting. All right, now let's go with Lothario. What would you like to do?
Lothario is going to muster up the memory of her grandparents and just glower at the guard.
Ooh, excellent. Go ahead and, make for me an intimidate check. Dang, Lothario, what?
She's
A
good.
25 on intimidation as a level 1 character. Wow. Freaking F in the chat for this guy's self-esteem. Okay, how do you intimidate him? You channel Grandpa Elysium. What do you say? As he's perusing the guest list, he suddenly looks up at you and says, I think there's a misunderstanding. I don't see the House Elysium on this list. Well done, Power Gamer. You've safely made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. Thanks for hanging out with us, and a very special thank you to our supporters on Patreon. Thank you to our Patreon founders, whose incredible generosity humbles us. Thank you to the legends, guild members, and all of the official Power Gamers whose love and support makes this channel possible. If you like what you saw, let us know by leaving a like, comment, subscription, donation, sharing the video with your friends. Check out all the links below, and we'll see you Saturday on Twitch for the next Legends of Lyria.